Yo, what up? It's Datwon Thomas, editor-in-chief of Vibe Magazine, and right now you locked into Talkin Magazine. I hope y'all checked out the interview. It was super dope. I love y'all. Keep supporting. One love.
Hi, this is Irovia, also known as Gem in the industry. We're here at Billboard, so excited to interview Datwon Thomas for Vibe Magazine. Stay tuned to the interview.
He had more time than him in the game necessarily, and he put a lot down. So his hardcore fans are feeling like a Tupac Biggie type loss. I think all the other people that are influenced by him, and you know, him being a family man and being a businessman, now you're bringing in other kind of people that Big and Pac might not have touched, you know, on the business side. You know, and on the spiritual side and stuff like that. And now, you know, exposure on tragedies is like 10 times what it was when we were coming up.
Yeah.
You know, and when you think about the fact that you can take somebody's life that influences so many people, but then that life, after it's gone, exponentially just grabs even more people. You thought you were silencing him, and now look what you did. You opened up a box so everybody can get in with him.
Yes.
I truly believe if he was still living, he would be impacting the people he's supposed to impact, but maybe not as many as he's done now.
Yes.
And you know, it's unfortunate that that has to happen. But yeah, we have a huge loss when you have someone that's reaching into the communities and helping the communities, not just making music, but going into communities and getting his hands dirty and like, yo, I'm gonna play with these kids and I'm gonna get y'all the support y'all need. Hey, all y'all in low income housing, we're gonna build up these communities so y'all can get in. Y'all can get in there. All y'all that don't have any jobs, we're gonna have this community center and get y'all job placement, resume building, all that stuff with Vector 90. And then going off into like, you know, super business where it's like the ventures on big capital and going into the cannabis arenas, and then also in the tech way, and then fashion. He was going on at it at a fast clip.
Yes.
And a big clip. It wasn't just like, I'm gonna run down fashion. It was like, I'm gonna run down all of them. And yeah, you're gonna miss that. You're gonna miss that. But you're also gonna inspire so many more MCs.
Yes.
That's the beautiful part about it.
So I have to ask you now, how will you continue the marathon?
Wow, that I guess like me continuing the marathon is continuing to try to enlighten people through, you know, creative works that I can, and still mentor the way that I do, and still learn. You know, like the more you still go out and seek education and try to learn more, I think like after a certain while, certain people of a certain age feel as though they know everything. And I'm still trying to learn.
That's right.
You know,
yes.
I don't feel as though I know everything, but I do have a lot of experience. That's continuing the marathon, letting people know like, yo, you can get back out there on the road and start learning things and adding to what you already do well. And I think he was a very big proponent of that. That's why he was always in the self-help books. It wasn't like, all right, cool, I'm gonna read this book and I'm good. I'm gonna apply these things, but now I'm gonna grab this information and I'm gonna link with this person and I'm gonna do that. You know, that's how you continue the marathon.
Yes.
And you take that information that you have and you don't just hold it for yourself, you share it. That's why he was always telling people like, yo, read this book or go to this event or try to read up on this. You know, I think that's the way that you continue the marathon. Everyone does their part. And it makes it where you don't want to go back to the hood. Even though all of our hoods are becoming gentrified, you still want to be able to say, like, whatever I'm doing is helping the less fortunate in a less fortunate place. You still want that aspect of it to it. So that's the way that I'm going to continue the marathon.
That's the. Do you think that how important do you think it is for travel in terms of an artist?
Ooh.
Because Nipsey was a West Coast artist.
Yeah.
And even though on the East Coast his name wasn't out there, we still knew, or important people, I would say, in the industry knew who he was. So how important do you think traveling and his trip
to Africa.
To Africa,
yeah.
you know, and how that impacted him, he mentioned.
Yeah.
So how important do you think travel is to being an artist?
Well, I'll tell you personally what travel does to a person. I'm born and raised in Brooklyn up until I was 11, and my mom married my stepdad, and we moved to Japan. We moved like 30 minutes from Tokyo at an Air Force base, and I was out there for 3 years. And to be able to be mixed in with so many different cultures and people of different backgrounds and geographical backgrounds, that just opened my eyes to the world and let me know, like when we came back to New York, that I could do anything. And my network was so big. I knew people that was going to other places internationally, and I'm still writing them. Before the internet and all that stuff, we writing each other, and they telling me what's going on out there. I'm finding out about new artists through them, and they're sending me tapes. I'm sending them stuff from out here, and that's how you build your network. That's how you learn things. And then we moved to New Mexico for like a year. I got exposed to West Coast culture, you know, gang culture, music, food, the arts, all of those things I was being infused with. Come back to Brooklyn, I'm bringing that back. I'm telling people about stuff like that. And then I get in the industry, and now I'm getting sent on press junkets everywhere, all over the world. And because I had already had the experience of living internationally and I'm going abroad, like I'm just adding that, you know, to my repertoire, and it just opened up that whole box of these are the things that you can use in your creativeness. Like you want to create something, use your international toolbox rather than Dave from the block only. You know, so I'm sure he was able to, and when I say he, Nipsey, I'm sure he was able to do the same thing once he went back to his roots in Africa, and his dad took him and his brother back there to let them see, like, yo, this is what it is. That changes a person. When I went back to Africa, exactly, like figuratively and all that. When I went to Ghana, that was like mind blowing. I was able to like chill with the kids. I was on the beach and we bugging, yelling like, I'm home. It was like one of those just blessing moments. I'm touching the sands of Accra, like going through my hands and everything, and I'm chilling with the kids, and they asking me questions about America and why don't I stay, and everything I had on damn near I gave them. You know, I had little sweatbands. I had my 22 hats that I own. I was putting them on them, and like it was just a beautiful thing. So I'm sure he had that same kind of feeling, because I know he dealt with that as well, with being around the people. But I do know Steve LaBelle, who was his manager for a while. He took him to Japan too. Like one of his first trips as a artist, he took him to Japan and he got some bread. You know, Nipsey was able to get some, I'm smiling because he told me the story. He was able to get some bread out of the situation, but then he was just so blown away by the culture. Yeah. And that opened him up too. Yeah. It's one thing to go to Africa and say like, yo, this is my home, this is where my roots are. But it's a whole nother thing to go to someone else's culture and be inspired as well. You bring that back with you. So travel is important for anyone, be it entertainer, be it business person, or be it just a person that wants to be inspired by the world.
I think we tapped on a lot of, if someone is looking at the interview and they want to be an artist, or they want to be a part of the music industry, they're really listening to you, they're getting a lot of gems.
I hope so.
But to sum it up,
I hope so.
What advice would you give an artist right now that is like, I want to be in the music industry?
The advice I would give an artist that would want to be in the music industry right now is so funny. I'm gonna use them again. Almost every year I could pinpoint to somebody that you should be inspired by. Once again, I'm gonna just go with Lil Nas X, because his life changed so fast because he put his stuff out there. And the thing is, until you put it out there, nobody's gonna know. No matter how good or how bad it is, no one will know. And there's so many